Marquise Murphy, a relatively young yet highly successful agent whose background started in finance and has now landed him in real estate. Mr. Murphy is involved in a slew of communities such as the YPN. He's also on the board of SAMCAR, along with holding a spot as a director for the California Association of Realtors. Mr. Murphy is also involved in a number of nonprofit organizations as well. Without further ado, here's the interview.
Okay.
I thought it'd be awesome interviewing like a relatively young guy.
Thank you.
And seeing that you're as successful as you are. Yeah. So if you could just introduce yourself, give us some professional background.
Okay.
That'd be awesome.
My name is Marquise Murphy. I am a realtor with Marshall Realty. I've been in the business for almost 3 years now. My background, I started off in finance and mortgages. Worked for JP Morgan, Chase, and I've worked for Wells Fargo. And I've done some mortgages with HSBC in the past.
Okay.
Currently, I hold a position as the chair president of the Young Professionals Network of San Mateo County.
Right.
I am a board of director for the San Mateo County Association of Realtors. I am also a California Association of Realtors director. And I serve for a nonprofit in the community for San Mateo and Santa Clara counties called Life Moves, formerly known as Envision Shelter Network, as a board of director.
Cool. And I can link all of those too in like the footnotes
Perfect.
of the interview.
Okay.
So what kind of made you get into real estate? Start with like the beginning.
Well, basically with my finance background and working with clients
Sure.
face to face behind a desk, I found that I was really excited to work with people on a daily basis and not just one set of people, all different walks of life. I took an interest in real estate at about 18. Never really took it serious until probably my mid-20s.
Wow. Okay.
And then I finally actually got licensed at about, I believe 27 or 28 years old.
Wow.
Now I'm 30.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
And so it's just the excitement, the thrill of working with people and
Yeah,
and helping
sure.
people achieve their home ownership goals and dreams.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
So how did you get over the periods of, not getting paid, like a paycheck and all that?
Yeah.
Could you go
My
on
story's a little unique, so I'm sure you're
Cool.
going through your studies and it tells you need to have at least 6 months to 12 months of reserves,
that?
right?
It does
Something
have,
like that.
a good amount, yeah.
Yeah, I came in the industry with no reserves, but I came in the industry as a inside sales agent with a previous broker.
Okay.
So that gave me a small salary plus some small savings that I had, which was not equivalent to what your studies will tell you should have.
Yeah.
And basically, as an inside sales agent, I was able to build my database before I transitioned to a full-time outside sales agent.
That's awesome, yeah.
Yeah.
So you did get a little bit of, you weren't like just thrown into the water, would you say?
Well, as an inside agent, you had to meet goals.
Yeah.
So I think any sales position that you get into, whether it's real estate or any other industry, you have goals that you have to meet. And if you're not meeting those goals, then obviously, that's probably not the position for you. So fortunately, I was able to exceed those goals.
Yeah.
And be able to make a little nest egg for myself during that time before my transition out to an outside agent.
Okay, cool. Yeah, so they definitely do put an emphasis on having something, saved up.
Yes,
And
highly recommended if you
Yeah.
can. I mean, if you're young coming up, you're probably with your parents or you might have roommates.
Yeah.
Don't know your background, but if you can leverage whatever type of savings or type of income that you have coming in now
Sure.
prior to getting into business, I totally recommend it.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Thanks a lot for that.
Yeah.
So how do you market? Where do you think the most of your marketing goes towards? Would it be like social media? Would it be door knocking? Let me know about that.
It's a combination. Being involved with the YPN has really helped open my eyes to technology and really trying to cater to who our current home buyers are now in today's marketplace, which are our millennials
Yeah.
and our tech savvy individuals. So definitely social media is huge. Facebook, LinkedIn,
Yeah.
Instagram. What else do you have? You have Zillow, you have Trulia, you have every the real estate website that you can get on. And most of those actually allow you to set up free profiles prior, without having to do the paid profiles. So
Yeah.
to caveat off that, you got to think about sellers too, right?
Sure.
Your average seller nowadays is probably in their 60s to 70s, mid-retirement right now, right?
Wow. Okay.
And so they still you still need to cater to them with print marketing.
Print.
Right.
Yeah.
So
Sure.
that's why I said it's a combination. Because if what you're building is your database of buyers and sellers, and hopefully you can match them up to the right properties. Ideally, every real estate agent always hear you want to be a listing agent, listing agent, listing agent.
That's where. Yeah.
But you want to have a good mix, especially when you're in a market shift like we're in right now. We had a really big peak and a really big high, right, where sellers were able to take advantage of the marketplace and make a ton of money. And now the market is kind of just stabilizing, where buyers are having the advantage now to be able to come in and have more options, because now there's more inventory coming on the marketplace. Still hasn't balanced out yet.
Yeah.
But buyers are probably key to have in your database right now, because they're actually ones who's going to start driving the marketplace moving forward.
So with market fluctuations, you definitely do want to have that balance so you can be ready for any type of situation in the market.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly.
Cool. Where would you think the bulk of your business clients come from? Of all social media, being out there in the field, or like cold calls and all that.
For me, it's networking. Really, my sphere of influence and that's where my business comes from, word of mouth and referrals. In the very beginning, I was very huge on cold calls, door knocking, first year in the business, because I was building that database. And then getting involved with some of the organizations I told you about before helped me to really expand my word of mouth / referral base of business. This year, everything that I've done has been all referrals.
Wow. Okay.
I highly recommend too, if you can work open houses. That's a great way to build your database of buyers. Mostly buyers, and sometimes you can get a combination of a buyer and a seller as well. If you're getting into business, you're not going to have a listing right away.
Yeah,
I mean,
of course.
obviously, when you get into business, the whole idea is to tap into your immediate sphere of influence, friends and family, colleagues, right? And that's your immediate database, and then you have to grow from there. So to get the experience, you want to work every open house that you can work, whether it's large or small. You get a chance to get a different field of buyers and sellers. Now, from there, when you're working large or small, as you continue to grow, you have marketing money, right, that you set aside to where you can start target marketing for the areas and the price ranges that
you'd like.
in.
Okay,
Exactly.
I see. So you definitely want to get over the hump of the DNA sale, right?
Yeah.
You familiar with that term?
DNA. Tell me more about it.
It's like the family sale, right?
Oh yeah. You want to get over that. You don't want to work them and bug them, because eventually they're going to see you growing,
right?
And that's going to come naturally.
Your
that's
work will speak for itself.
Yeah, that's going to be like the icing on the cake, right? You're going to have those coming in like, hey, your mom called, hey, Vincent, Susie wants to sell across the street.
Sure.
I told you you're in the business. Maybe we can sit down and have dinner together and we can chat a little bit, right?
Yeah.
Maybe bring your broker, since you probably want to get over the hump of being a little bit younger as an agent,
right?
As you saw through the role plays. But there's ways to get over that all the time. Right?
Okay.
Just because you have 50 years of backing here and you have experienced broker who has over 35 to 40 years as well, you can get over that hump of being a younger agent.
Okay.
The only thing is, when you're younger getting into business, you want to make sure that you work a little bit harder than some of the more seasoned agents and have your stuff a little bit more prepared than theirs.
Okay.
Because as a seasoned agent, they go into a situation or a listing appointment expecting that they're going to get it.
Yeah.
And most of the times, a lot of them do if they're really good and they have a great reputation throughout the business.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
So maybe more of a personal question. What to you defines a good realtor?
Wow, that's a great question. I would say a very well-balanced, personable individual. Someone who actually listens. You have to sit down and listen. A lot of times, what I found myself doing in the very beginning, I had the people skills, very excited, very energetic, and I would overtalk my clients versus sitting back and really listening, dissecting what they're telling me, and giving it back to them based on my professional recommendations. So that's something I've learned. And also be the realtor who doesn't make assumptions. Aside from the close, assume the close, but don't assume that your client knows what they're talking about, because the moment you do that, you lose control of your client.
What do you mean?
So meaning if a client comes in, especially buyers that come in, especially first-time buyers, they always come in with this big grand idea of what they want, what they don't want.
Okay.
But most it's about what they want. And a lot of times they don't think about the compromise of, okay, well, if I can have this and this, but I can't have that, then I can totally live with that.
Okay.
Right? So if I want crown molding, if I want a pool in the backyard, but I don't have the high-end, appliances,
Yeah.
or I don't have the separated bedrooms from each side of the house, then you got to really break it down with them and see what's really important. And then the next thing too is buyers have a huge geographical area when they're buying for the first time.
Okay.
And you have to be the professional to really dive in and narrow that down and see what's really important to them. Is it your commute time? Is it being close to family? Is it being close to public transit? Things like that. And when you start listening more, you can start, narrowing that down and really become professional to direct them where they need to go.
Wow, that's awesome. I never even thought of things like commute time, family. I just thought of the home and the land. But yeah, that's awesome.
Right.
Yeah, that's great.
Well, that's why you hear your study should show you I think the very first page is like location.
Yeah,
right?
Exactly.
And that's so important, right? Depending on what that individual buyer's situation is, right?
It's not just the city; it's also how far the city is from whatever you need.
A lot of your millennials now, they want to be close to everything. They like convenience. They want to walk out of their house and they want to be able to walk downtown and get their coffee, walk to the farmer's market. They want to be able to walk to a transit and get to the San Francisco if they're not living directly in San Francisco. So those are things you got to know when you're dealing with certain clients.
Certainly know your client.
Or if you're dealing with a young couple who's ready to build a family.
Yeah.
They don't want that fast-paced life anymore. They may be wanting to be on the peninsula a little bit slower pace, but they want to have a great downtown. They want to be close enough to transit, but more importantly for them, it's going to be commute. They want to be next to 101, 280.
280, yeah.
And the reason why is because they already have established professional jobs, and they're starting to build their family. So for them, they commute.
Right.
Right?
Okay. So what do you think your strongest areas are with being a realtor?
Face-to-face interaction.
Sure, yeah.
I really love just sitting face-to-face with people, and I'm able to really sit down and talk to people.
Yeah,
I think that's my strongest attribute. If you give me paperwork and things like that, I'm not very strong at that.
Okay.
That's why I'm glad we have an office manager. There's other options out there, too, where you can start, as you grow, you can hire a transaction coordinator or administrative assistant. That's not my strong suit.
Cool, yeah.
I need to be out in the field talking with people.
Yeah, nothing wrong with that. There's, people who... Yeah, it's finding your niche, and your niche is definitely with, speaking with people.
Thank you, yeah.
All right. What do you think the hardest thing is being like a relatively young agent? I know we kind of touched on that earlier, but could you really delve into that?
Building respect in this business as a younger agent.
Yeah.
You want to build respect amongst your peers. You want to build respect amongst your clients as well.
Yeah.
A lot of times, being younger, they will not take you serious.
Sure. Yeah.
And it's a hard battle to get over in the beginning, but it's very, very doable.
Yeah.
And lots of agents do it. You just got to get the first deal under your belt. And the reason why is because now you have experience. Even though it's one deal, a whole deal gives you basically a whole broad window and picture of what a deal entails, right? So you have something, life experience you can talk about in real life that, hey, I did this deal and our lender was able to get my client to, a mortgage on the first and a mortgage on the second, the house and appraised, whatever the scenario may be. Every deal's different. Every deal's complicated. I've never had a deal where it was very easy and smooth, and I've done over 35 deals in like 3.5 years or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
Wow. Okay. Yeah, that first deal is it's a big milestone to get over.
Well, it's a confidence booster too, right?
True.
Because you go into your next appointment feeling really good, right? You go into your next appointment with some experience and some knowledge of a transaction, right? And so, like I said, you just feel better about the conversation that you're having with that potential client.
Okay. All right. Here's kind of like a fun question, I think.
Okay.
If there was one thing that you wish you would have known before you got into the business that you know now, what would that be?
I wish I would have gotten into the business sooner.
Oh my! Are you serious?
I'm serious.
Really?
Yeah.
That's what Emily said. I just asked her that before, actually. Why?
Well, because the opportunity of when you're building, it takes time.
Yeah.
You have to. It takes time, and I'm still building now. I'm able to kind of dissect and go for different types of marketplaces that I want to be in,
Sure.
as well as having my core business that pays the bills, right? So now I'm going for the lottery picks.
Okay.
But I wish I would have gotten it sooner, just because of that factor alone, of just getting that experience and building my database right away.
Really?
Yeah. And it's not all about the money all the time. Obviously, we have to make a paycheck.
Yeah.
The big misconception about realtors is that we make a ton of money, and some of us make some pretty decent money. But at the same time, it's all relative, because we still get taxed on it,
Yeah.
30 to 35%, and you still have to pay estimated taxes and
Sure.
things like that. The outside world they don't see that, because it's just such a stigma that we make all this money.
There's
Not every realtor makes a ton of money. The average right now nationally is that the average realtor does 2 deals a year.
Was it 2? Yeah.
2 deals a year
Okay.
nationally.
Nationally, right.
Nationally. I don't. In California, there's no way you can survive if you did 2 deals a year.
Definitely not.
There's no way.
At least not here. Cool. Yeah, that's like a common response is sooner. I wish I would have done it sooner.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, because it's a very lucrative industry, but it also allows you a lot of freedom and independence.
It does.
As
Yeah. Okay. Cool. Last question. Any words of encouragement for someone who might be getting into real estate?
So first and foremost, get your real estate license.
Yeah.
Number 2, I would say don't be shy about what you do for a living.
Okay. Expand on that.
Don't be shy, meaning you have to, as a realtor, this is not a business, a position to be quiet or timid.
In the shadows.
In the shadows.
Yeah.
There's this. If you're that type of person and you can't break out of that, then it's going to be a very challenging uphill battle for you. It's already an uphill battle just getting in this business, because you're fighting against you're competing against so many different people. But don't be shy about what you do and who you are.
Okay.
And my personal recommendation is, if you can become more personable than salesy, that'll make you more successful.
Sure.
And have fun. Enjoy it. Get out there, network, meet people, get involved.
Yeah.
It's a fun thing to do. Most of the times, people who get involved in this business feel that they have a good knack for people.
Okay. Yeah.
So if you love people, this is a great way to meet a lot of people.
I mean, you certainly have to, I would think, because you're dealing with people, all day, whether it be your clients or, the people at the bank or other, realtors. So
that would be my nuggets of wisdom and advice. And don't be afraid to ask questions.
Cool.
Ask every question you can. Be that annoying guy. Gain every piece of knowledge you can from everybody that you can.
Okay.
Well, reputable resources. Reputable resources.